I know. That's what it is, though. I don't know what else it is.
You guys still play me tonight,
You can say that. You're gonna start.
So should we pass? Yeah. So I just don't talk about this. And then pass it over to you. Here, do you want? And then go to the. Is it just up to you? Yes. We got one more for you.
Oh, yeah.
I can do it, I just don't.
Yeah.
Right number 6 is the bad. I am. Maybe he is. Brad has some protective.
Oh, you are on it now. She never forgot it. So I'm thinking
There's a lot of thought.
Been waiting a long time for it.
But I need to double check. I think he's probably also busy packing his house. Yeah. Well, no, because he has his Apple Watch shoes that he gets them on his watch and he probably what's that and then he just starts feeling the weight. No.
Tim, I think we are ready.
I think he just makes a mental note.
No.
No, not Iverson.
Okay.
No, not Iverson.
Oh, you have to hold it. It's on.
I can't.
Hello.
Oh, hold on, the coffee took off.
Test, test, test.
What, Steve?
Thank you. Test, test, test. I see
See
light.
the same consultant as a Wi-Fi.
Okay, there we go. Okay, hello everyone and welcome to our very first session of our Golden Scots Weekend for 2024. My name is Abby Batson. I'm the Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement here. So a lot of the emails that you all have been getting have been coming from me. So welcome and thank you for joining us. I'd now like to introduce Audra and our students. Audra Goach knew that she wanted to be a chemistry professor since her sophomore year in high school when she began an independent research project with her chemistry teacher. She did a 3-year project centered on the investigation of the effectiveness of sunscreens, and she was fortunate to be able to present her results at the Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science. She received her Bachelor of Science in Chemistry from Muhlenberg College, her PhD in Chemistry from Pennsylvania State University, where she imaged biological samples with mass spectrometry, and was a postdoc researcher at the Institute for Medicine and Engineering at the University of Pennsylvania. That's a lot, so that's awesome. At this time, I'd like to turn the floor over to Audra and Michael Prinzel, and they will help moderate today's conversation and introduce our wonderful students.
Thank you, Abigail. Thanks everybody for coming to our session. And as was mentioned, we're going to talk to you about the Richard Kieft Endowment, fondly known as DOC, and how it helps us with our scholarships that we give out, travel, and summer research. And as Abigail gave me a really nice introduction, I'll add to that a little bit. So I started teaching here in 2006. and I was Doc's replacement, right? Doc was part-time retired, and so he taught labs and he did dishes in the wet room because that's what he does, right? And he kept everything running really well. And so I taught the analytical chemistry sequence, which is what he taught, and then over the years I've added some courses, and one of those is the forensic science course that I teach for non-majors, which is an extremely popular course among students. And the research I do today will be discussed by some of my students, but I work with model cell membranes, looking at drug delivery and drug effectiveness, and we do some imaging with a Brewster angle microscope. I have some collaborators at Colorado State University who I've been lucky enough to publish some papers with since I've been here. So my colleague, Michael Princell, would you like to introduce yourself? That's probably better. Okay.
Hi, I'm Michael Princell. So I did my undergraduate at a small liberal arts college, Kuwait University, graduated in 2008. I double majored chemistry and economics, and then I went on to do my master's and PhD in chemistry, kind of focused on the crossover between organic and inorganic, finishing my PhD in 2014. Well, I finished in 13, but got it 14. One of the weird things where you finish and then you don't get it till then. But then I did a 2-year postdoc down in San Antonio. And then I started here in fall 2015, and then I got tenure in 2021. I mostly focus on organic chemistry, so organic chemistry 1 and organic chemistry 2, but I also often teach the general chemistry class, and then some upper level classes like advanced organic or advanced inorganic, things like that. Research, I'm organic, so I focus mostly on synthesizing small molecules or trying to purify different mixtures, and so there's kind of 2 major projects my students will talk about briefly today.
All right, so we're missing a couple people from our department here today. Laura Moore, who you can see on your left, is our biochemist, and she also teaches inorganic chemistry, and she's the pre-med advisor. She's currently doing AP grading. And Brad Sturgeon, who is, and will soon be was, our physical chemist, is retiring, right? So Brad, I think is still under contract till August or whenever that time is. Needs to clean his office out. But we do have a really good physical chemist coming in the fall. And I'd like to introduce Dr. Janet Ugolino. So Janet is the neuroscientist on campus. She's in the biology department, and she has 2 students on the end there who are doing research with her this summer, and she will be happy for you to hear about what they're doing today too. So these are our students, and I'm going to give them more detailed introductions later, but you could just glance at the slide there. We have 9 students total doing research this summer. There are, if you add them, 10 names up there, but Peter, raise your hand, Peter. Peter shows up twice, because Peter is working with 2 faculty this summer in the program. And there's a variety of majors: biochem, health science, human movement, chemistry, math, neuroscience, and I think we also have some Spanish minors, and so very vast. So Doc, I knew Doc, as I said, because I came here in 2006 to replace him, but as you know, maybe some of you know, he is irreplaceable. And he was my mentor in terms of how to teach, because I came right from a postdoc. And I have fond memories of Doc from just him walking around the floor, offering neck massages to people who were grading, to having students over his house, to being the advisor of the Women in Science House, just going to every athletic event on campus. He was obviously not only a faculty member here at the college, but also a trustee. And then when he passed away, he left his, all his money to us, right, in a form of this endowment that we have. And Michael's going to talk to you a little bit about how that's allocated and what we have been doing with it.
So like any endowment, we are allowed to draw 5% a year, and there's several things that Doc wanted us to do with the money. I'm going to go in a different order than mentioned there. No, that's fine. I'll still probably go in a different order. So the first thing is the scholarships, right? We want to be able to attract students, and so we have some money that we're allowed to allocate towards talented high school students. They come in, they do little 15-minute interviews, in the spring, and then we award scholarships to a couple of them to try to entice them to come to campus. Once they're here, we want them to get involved, and one good way to get involved is with research. So we have money for the summer research program, as you can see everyone here. So they're here for 8 weeks doing research, 37.5 hours a week, and that's what it is. But 300 hours of total for the summer. They get the research experience, and then we also do research during the semester, and we can spend money on consumables, chemicals, solvents, parts for instrumentation that breaks down.
I purchased a computer, and I believe computers are consumables, correct?
They break down.
Sure.
And then once they have this research, we also have money for travel. So we get to take the students to a national conference. Every year, the American Chemical Society has 2 national conferences. There's one in the fall and one in the spring. And so we usually take approximately 10 students to the spring meeting where they can present the research they did either during the summer or also during the semester. So yeah, that was last spring. I didn't go, but Audra and Laura went with 11, was it 11? 12?
Something like that. They all came home.
They all came home, but it was New Orleans last year, so I'm sure that was a
You're
good
lucky
time.
they all came home.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we get to do with all Doc's money. I think it's a really benefit to our department. So. Neuroscience. I don't know who's the best to talk about that.
They were supposed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least, okay.
If I forget anything, you can fill me in. Our neuroscience program is relatively new. It was developed for students who really wanted more of an interdisciplinary approach to learning about biology and chemistry and psychology. And as neuroscience is becoming more of a booming field in the scientific world at large, Monmouth created a program to sort of replicate that. And so our advisor, Dr. Ugolino, is running this program, which offers so many wonderful classes that are really amazing. So we've gotten to take psychology classes, lots of chemistry, lots of biology, and while we're taking them, it's really cool that they all line up and we get to sort of weave together the information, and it just starts to make sense. That was a lot, but the program, it also has a couple different tracks. It has a molecular track and a behavioral track for students who want to go in a different direction. And it also lets seniors do senior research like the rest of the programs. But so far, out of the neuroscience program, since it's relatively new, we've had 9 graduates, and there will be 5 more of us next year. And after graduation, lots of students go on to do go on to graduate school, be lab assistants, and there has been a neuroscience student who has done this Kieft research program, and she is now working as a lab assistant studying fruit flies at the University of Wisconsin. And so she's gone on to do wonderful things and present her research, and she's currently working on a publication, but a lot of cool stuff is coming out of the neuroscience program, and I'm really glad that Monmouth had it right before I got to come here. So it's a really cool program. And are we missing anything? Do you have anything to fill in?
I think you got it all.
Which track are you 2 on?
I'm on the I'm on the molecular track, so that's the biology and the chemistry.
I'm also part of the molecular track.
One of you were here last year, Cassandra Nolasco, who did research with the DocU program. She's a biochemistry major doing the behavioral track. So they do, everybody kind of crosses the discipline. We mentioned the neuroscience program not only because they're doing research with us in the DocU summer research, but also because this particular program has been so beneficial for students in terms of getting them into grad school, or perhaps getting another research experience at a bigger institution the following year. And we just hope that perhaps other programs on campus can benefit and have an endowment of their own at some point so that we could have a larger constituency of students on campus in the summer doing research.
Nice to have more than 8 or 9 just running around.
So as far as chemistry, this is last year and this year's graduating classes, and we just thought we would show to just display how many students we are reaching in our program, and a lot of it is due to this endowment. So Michael mentioned these scholarships, right? And so this incoming class for fall 2024, we're giving 5 $4,000 scholarships. And as of yesterday, I believe 4 of those students have committed to the college. I think 3 of them are going to do the Sophia program in August. I think 2 of them in my Sophia group. And so this program is invaluable to us. We wouldn't have the money for supplies, we wouldn't have the money for travel. This summer, we're going to also go to University of Iowa to visit the chem department and the engineering department because we have alumni there. And then we're going to go to Velocity Labs in Peoria, where an alum is a co-founder of that lab. And so we're going to take some trips to see what it's like to work in industry and academia. And so as far as our graduates, this is about 4 years old now, but it still reigns true. We have about equal amounts of students in grad school, health professions, and industry, and then just some variety of other areas. And you have some sheets there at your tables that show you where some of our graduates go, right? And I just picked a few here on this slide, and I highlighted Mitch Johnson because he's the co-founder of Velocity Labs, which is on Bradley's campus in Peoria. And he came out here last semester and he talked to the students and he interviews every year. And since he opened the lab a couple years ago, he's already hired 2 of our students that work there with him. And having these networks is really important. We have students at AbbVie Labs up near Chicago. We have students at Lilly Poor Sigma down in St. Louis, students at Caterpillar, right? So they're, if we make these connections, that helps us. And then a variety of different areas, food science, we have a student finishing up at Yale, students at University of Illinois, Urbana, Medical College, Wisconsin, and Gabriella on the bottom there started law school at Vermont Law last fall, and she's doing really, really well there. She was a political science major also.
Okay. Audra is working on model memories for the investigation of cellular processes. My 2 projects, I'm working on forming molecules that have nitrogen-nitrogen bonds, which are kind of rare, and then also synthesizing chalcone derivatives, which will have something to do with Alzheimer's, which Alejandro might touch on. Laura is touching on very different areas of biochemical research. I don't know which 2 projects you 2 are working on, she's got so many different ones, but you'll tell us. And then the 2 on the end, Iris and Anne, are working on the neuroscience, as they sort of said, with worms, C. elegans.
Okay.
Yeah, now students.
Yeah, so now we'll try and hear from the students. I first have, sorry, I forgot the order. So I first have an alum of the program. I have a video of what Seth has to say, and I'm just hoping it works. If it doesn't, then we won't worry about it. Just give me a minute here.
Hello everybody, my name is Seth Croslow and I graduated in 2021 where I majored in chemistry and physics. So currently I'm at the University of Illinois in their chemistry PhD program, and today Audra's asked us a little bit about our experience and just a few things. And so initially,
It doesn't work. Is it too loud? Do you want to hear it or not?
It's a little loud.
Okay.
We'll hear it.
Well, let me just tell you what Seth says. He says that I'm amazing and the program is great. Okay, so just briefly, Seth and Brandon, who is the student at Yale, they built a microscope, which Peter is refurbishing currently. And due to that experience, they were able to have a collaboration with my colleague at Colorado State, and we published a paper together. And then they also were authors on a pedagogical paper that I published when I was on sabbatical. So due to having the ability to publish papers, and I hate to say deal with peer reviews, but that is the correct language, because it took a while. They knew what it was like to be in grad school, what grad school was going to entail, and that, he says, was invaluable. So there he is, and he's gonna come visit us this summer, which will be great. Okay.
Come in. You just want to use this one since it's working?
Well, hello, my name is Camilla, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and my major is biochemistry. And on campus, I'm involved in a few things. I'm a cheerleader, I'm a part of Res Life, I'm also part of Greek Life, I'm an Alpha Zeta Delta, and I'm also part of Order of Omega, which is our honor society for Greek Life. And I'm also involved in a lot of other things, Scott Student Senate included, which is our student government on campus. I'm Student Affairs Officer. And yeah, and my research project that I'm looking into is, I was very interested in looking into ovarian cancer cells, and so what my research project is looking at is platinum resistance. So ovarian cancer has a very high mortality rate, and one of it is because of platinum resistance that happens to the cells. And so what I was looking at and investigating while I've been reading nonstop this past couple of weeks is just like the fluidity of membranes. And so cholesterol affects the fluidity of a membrane, and statins are a lot of time prescribed to those who have cancer to use while they're taking the drugs that they're taking, so like carboplatin, cisplatin, things like that. But I actually read an article that said that it could possibly have the reverse effect that might actually could promote it and stuff. So I know we're looking at seeing what the effects of statins are on platinum-resistant ovarian cancer.
What's up?
Hi, I'm Alyssa McDaniel. I'm class of 26. I'm a biochem and health science double major with a psych minor. I'm also involved on campus. I'm part of an honor society called Blue Key. I just recently became a Scots ambassador, and I'm also part of clubs such as Pre-Health Society and ACS, which is the American Chemical Society. My research involves the HDL and cholesterol interactions regarding the liver membrane. So I want to see if the oxidation of the HDL, when it returns to the liver, affects chronic disease such as kidney disease, cirrhosis, and other things like that.
Peter.
My name is Peter Soutsos, class of 26. I'm a chemistry and math double major, and as you can see, I'm the pipe band, I'm the drum sergeant. I'm a math and chemistry tutor, and I'm on the track and field team. And I have two research projects this summer. One of them is using Brewster Engel microscopy to image lipid membranes, and that's working with Audra. And then working with Laura Moore, I'm using a program called Galaxy to analyze 16S RNA sequencing data so that it can be used by her students in better ways rather than to help them parse their information.
Here, keep the mic. Because there it is, the microscope.
It's been, some days it's good, some days it behaves, and other days it's a little naughty.
It was originally Legos, right? You can see on the top left, and then this is the right pictures where it's at now. But they cost
They're expensive,
$500,000
yeah.
maybe, and we haven't spent nearly that on it so far. And it's getting.
This year I've spent $0, so.
Well, don't you think you should start putting in some, punching the time clock there? And,
Maybe.
Hello, my name is Karina Inkst, and I'm also class of 2026, so I'll be a junior, and I'm a biochemistry major with a global public health minor and also psychology minor. I'm also involved in many things on campus. One of my favorite is I will be our student senate, so student government president this next school year. And I'm also in Greek life, I'm in Pi Beta Phi, and I'm part of Pre-Health Society, as well as I'm a lead mentor, so I help our freshmen come and get acclimated with our school. I actually just arrived back from a study abroad trip from Costa Rica, so I haven't started a lot of research yet, but I've just been reading some literature about our project of FNR mutants in cells, and our advisor, Laura Moore, will be back on Monday from AP grading, so I'll continue research then, but in the past, I've done research with her last summer as well about sourdough starters and the 2 bacteria found within them, Pediococcus and, yeah, so that's what I've done so far.
Sorry. So hi, my name is Anna Lynn Lovell. I'm class of 26. I'm a biochemistry major. I'm also pretty involved on campus. I'm the Panhellenic president. I'm in Pi Beta Phi too. I'm on the golf team, Pre-Health Society, Monmouth College Wind Ensemble, and many other things. My project is the structure function studies of FNR transcription factor via changing the residue H19, which is histidine 19. I designed 5 other primers or amino acids that I would be changing the histidine, that I changed the histidine to, and just see how it affects FNR.
Alejandro.
Hello everybody, my name is Alejandro Ortega. I'm a class of 24. So I'm a chemistry major and a Spanish minor. I am involved in ASCP, which is the Association for Student Programming. Like we make events in campus for students to have fun. And I'm also in Raíces, which is the Hispanic club here in campus. My research involves synthesizing chalcone derivatives, which could have a positive effect on Alzheimer's disease. They could slow it down and possibly stop the advance of the Alzheimer's disease.
Well, so
For
for
the
the Golden Scotch, we're real interested in
Yeah.
that.
It's very early on.
Yeah. Probably lots of it.
You could talk longer about that.
Repeatedly.
Alright, Spencer.
Alright, my name is Spencer Korn. I'm in the class of 2025, and I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm a chemistry major as well as a Spanish minor, and some of the things I'm involved with on campus are I'm part of the tennis team. I'm also in the wind ensemble, and I'm one of the co-presidents of the ACS club here. And then my research is on the synthesis of nitrogen-nitrogen bonds, and essentially these can be used in like pharmaceuticals to make useful drugs. And basically I'm just going to be testing different methods in order to synthesize these, such as changing the nucleophile that I use in the reactions.
Hello, my name is Em Kemsbury. I'm part of the class of 2025. I'm from Orion, Illinois, and I'm a neuroscience major and a Spanish minor. And basically my project is studying the sex differences between the C. elegans nematodes. C. elegans are a very popular model organism used in neuroscience research because they model human diseases very, very well, and for unknown diseases and conditions that can help us better understand how they work on us. And so in the neuroscience research that we have going on right now, we are using them to study Parkinson's disease. So in the lab, we have wild type C. elegans and we have CAP6 mutated C. elegans. So in other words, they have Parkinson's disease. And in my project, I will be studying the behavioral and reproductive differences between the wild type male worms and the mutated male worms, because the male worms are often very understudied. They occur very rarely in the wild. C. elegans come in 2 different sexes. They can either be hermaphroditic or they can be male. And the males occur in less than 0.2% of the time, but you can manufacture them in the lab. And so my project will be studying the reproductive habits, the behavioral habits of those worms in hopes that they will be able to provide further results regarding the function of Parkinson's disease.
I am also working with the same mutated C. elegans worms to study our Parkinson's model. And for my research, we ran across a a protein interaction in a random paper that was published saying that this one specific protein happened to be interacting with the mutated gene protein that we're working with. So we wanted to investigate that more, and so I will be working with that protein and seeing if there's like increased sensitivity or decreased sensitivity. And this is kind of important because it's the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor, but basically there are some publications out there right now that are suggesting that there might be some involvement with those receptors, and so we're trying to figure out if there is an interaction like this one paper says there is, and where we go from there. So that is what I am working on this summer.
Now it's time for you. So we did our part, now it's your turn. And you can ask any questions that you would like of our students or Michael and myself.
Maybe we could hand that to the audience.
Usually one in the audience.
Absolutely. There you go, Vicky. Yep.
Hello? Neuroscience students. When I was a student here in the early 1970s, that's where I would have been, neuroscience. And I had to major in psychology and then take biology, chemistry, some math courses, etc. But my question is, the two tracks, molecular and behavioral, what are the courses that are unique to the molecular track and unique to the behavioral track?
Okay, so the molecular track mainly centers around chemistry and biology, while the behavioral track centers more around like psychology and biology. I think the first thing that comes to mind, and I could be wrong, I'm not 1000% sure, but molecular tracks take Orgo 1 and Orgo 2, while the behavioral track only has to take Orgo 1. Wait, really?
No Orgo for behavioral.
Oh, not at all.
No Orgo at all? Or
I just switched from behavioral to the molecular, so now I had to take Orgo. Wait, hold on.
Now you get to take.
Yes. I actually switched to the molecular track so that I could take organic chemistry and biochemistry. So I did just switch from behavioral because I thought that I wanted to study like the psychology side more, but then I realized that like the molecular stuff and the protein interactions and all the chemistry was really, really cool. So we took organic chemistry.
Okay,
So
so
it was
scratch.
cool, not that you were a masochist.
Okay, so scratch what I said. I was totally wrong on that.
You're partly right.
Okay, well, another example that comes to my mind, we were both in drugs and behavior this past semester, and like it was an elective. We didn't have to take it for the molecular track. If you were in the behavioral track, I think that you would probably kind of have to take it. I'm not sure. So, but those are two examples that I can think of. Can you think of any others?
That pretty much covers it.
Okay, we think that pretty much covers it.
Anybody else?
For those who are on a little closer to graduation, does this make you more inclined to go after a graduate degree, or having done some of the work during the year and now in the summer, does it make you want to say enough's enough? Or how has this reinforced your understanding and interest in the sciences?
Yes, I mean, I already know that I want to go to graduate school, so I'm still a ways out, but I already do know that graduate school is the path, and post-graduate school I want to teach at a small liberal arts college, teaching probably physical chemistry.
Get that quick.
Maybe.
Anybody else?
So I'm also a little ways out, but I want to go to med school, hopefully. Part of my involvement with the health science and human movement double major is the crossover between the two. I'm gonna really enjoy biochem this year, I think, because that's where it happens. but I want to do some type of like robotic engineering for like prosthetics and things like that. So that kind of research goes with that. I'm enjoying the research process. Audra's a great mentor. She's great.
Looking for that $5. Any other questions?
I just have a comment. I'm probably loud enough without that. I'm a teacher. Okay, so anyway, I couldn't begin to ask a question of you because I'm a liberal arts English major, but I am so proud of the backgrounds you have, that you all aren't just single focused. You do so many things. I'm very proud of you. So just thought I'd say that.
You know, let me.
Us too, right?
Yeah, they're just
I
awesome.
wanna piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
I'm a career coach. I help people that get laid off from work. We just got a big client, 3 weeks ago. Walmart Health closed all their clinics, out of business. We had 1,800 people, and they were all, not the doctors and nurses, but all the back office. You all speak very well, and you know probably where I'm going with this, but what business needs so much is people that are able to communicate, whatever your specialty is, speak up, and know the subject that you're talking about. And a place like Monmouth gives you this opportunity. I've seen it, and I see it every day with so many of the people that get laid off that cannot answer a simple interview question like, tell me about yourself. Things like that. So keep up the good work, not just in your chosen field, but the liberal arts side that Monmouth gives you.
Yeah, I'll add to that. When we go to the ACS meeting, there's often time for our students to meet with recruiters and also to do mock interviews, so real interviews and mock interviews, and that is always a great opportunity. And then in the summer, they talk about the research that they're doing, but research is a process, and so they spend a lot of time looking for journal articles. They make their own project that they want to do, based on what it is that we do as research advisors. And then they spend time thinking about, how do I present this, right? So we're in our 3rd week next week, and my assignment for my students is to start working on that presentation. So start writing up the background slides, start making the background slides on the topic, on the technique you use. Make sure you can communicate that, because in the end, you can have all the data you want. But if you cannot communicate the data, it doesn't mean anything to anybody, right? And so it's a lot of things. It's not just in the lab, it's in the books, it's working up the data, it's presenting the data. So
Yeah.
Thank you for your comment.
You bet, and it's not this, right? You guys know that. And it's so scary what we see today. People applying for jobs can't talk without their cell phone in front of them. Seriously. Dude, I don't see that here. I don't think any of the professors would allow it to be successful at Monmouth, and especially, I knew Doc Kieft. I'm a ZBT. He was our advisor after I graduated, but he was such a tremendous help to so many, non-chemistry and bio, just students in general. He was a great asset, and it's nice that you all have been able to really leverage what he left. And I'm sure there's lots of things in the works yet to come.
Yeah, this is my 18th year at the college, and just completely thankful every day for Doc's generosity, and we would not be the department we are or have the students that we have if we didn't have him.
Yeah.
So. Any other questions?
Chuck Ross here from the class of 1960. I would be interested in hearing a few of you say, why did you come here to Monmouth College? You could have chosen numerous other schools where you applied. Why Monmouth?
Would it be okay for us to just start here and go down?
Well, I'm actually a legacy student. My mom came here and graduated in 2000s with a degree in communications. So definitely totally different from what I'm doing. But I decided to come here because actually at first I wasn't thinking about Monmouth. I was like, that's my mom's school. I don't know if I want to go here. But I went on one visit because I was looking at everything that I wanted to do, and I was like, wow, mom, it like meets all these things on my list. And so I set up a tour, and my mom was like, yes, I'm so excited. So we came here, and when I came here, it's just the atmosphere. Like, I think there's nothing else to say. I feel like when you get on campus, I got a tour by one tour guide, and it's just like the welcome that you feel coming here. Like on my tour, everyone's saying hi to each other. Hi, hi. Like I'm from Chicago. People don't usually do that. You walk where you're going.
That's right.
But everybody was just so friendly and knew each other. And like at that time, I was still a little undecided on my major. So I was just like talking to different like faculty. I talked to some students. Like I was just around and like just going around. Like everybody's just so nice here, and everybody just wants to see you succeed, no matter what it is that you want to do. And I know another thing that drew me here is that you don't have to just be one thing here at Monmouth. Like, I ended up coming here and I played a sport for a little while. I played lacrosse, but then I was also able to do a lot of other fun things. I joined a sorority. I was able to do other things. And so it's just really great that Monmouth allows you to really figure out who you are as a person and develop so many well-rounded people here. And that's why I decided to come to Monmouth and stay here.
I'm also legacy. My dad was a math major, I think. He changed like 4 times when he got here and when he left. So I'm not sure, but I want to say math. Also could be computer science, but that's not important. I also was not like interested in Monmouth. I got mail from them all the time, saw them because I'm a legacy, but I had other schools in mind. Then they had a health science day, and health science is relatively new. I think this is like their 2nd or 3rd year doing that. And we got to have like a mini health science day, so we got like a little class lecture, we got to see the cadaver lab. That was a good take, in my opinion. I really enjoyed that. And we also like walked around the campus, and they just like told us a few things. But I guess one of my biggest things was just their science department. The first time I met Laura Moore, she's like, well, you're never going to go to med school if you're an exercise science major. I love her, but I was like, okay, she's always going to tell me the truth, right? Like,
I'll just say that Laura's always recruiting for the chemistry department.
Yeah, it was pretty defined that she was, didn't like me at first, but after the first semester I made her my advisor. Smart, right? So she's a great advisor. I knew that she'd never lie to me. She always tells me the truth, even if it hurts. So now I'm a biochem major.
I can read that.
And yeah, Audra, we love her. But she's my advisor because I want to go to med school, and she knows a lot about that. She's great. But yeah.
I knew from the get-go that I wanted to go to a small liberal arts college. So I just kind of, and I didn't want to go too far from home. I'm from Highland Park, Illinois. So I was looking at schools in Illinois that were kind of smaller, under 5,000 for sure. And I applied to Monmouth, Ripon, a bunch of other schools in the conference. And out of all of them, I just enjoyed Monmouth the most. They have the best science program. Ripon's was abysmal. And
Lake Forest is too close to home.
Exactly. But so the science program here was really great, and I also have the opportunity to do other things on campus like track and be in the pipe band, so that's always fun.
I'm from Bloomington, so I live like 7 minutes away from ISU. And I'm so familiar with that school, and a lot of my friends were going there, so I looked at this school, and it was nice, but then when I toured Monmouth, I just felt like I was like so much, like I belong here a lot better. Like professors remember your names from like a simple email, so when I went to ISU, nobody really like remembered you or knew who you were, but here I knew I wasn't just going to be like a number in the classroom. And then I also went to the science day, and I loved like learning about the cadaver. And actually this past year I did research with the cadaver and was able to work on it, which is pretty unheard of, especially at a smaller school in undergrad, so that's exciting. And I want to go to physician assistant school after this, so I've just had so many awesome experiences here that I feel very prepared to apply this upcoming year. And I also loved our science program, and I met Audra and Laura, and I felt very at home here, and everyone was so kind, and also just the ability to be involved in so many different things. Like I said, I love our student government, and like it's very different for someone like in a science field to be like, yeah, I love being involved in our government. And I was able to do that since I was a freshman, which is also very uncommon for larger universities.
I only live 30 minutes away, so I'm from Oneida, Illinois. When I thought of Monmouth, I was like, no, I can't go there, like way too close for home, like no way. But I liked the sports camps when I was here, like when I was a kid, and I always thought the campus was beautiful. Like it's so pretty in the spring and everything like that, especially now too, like walking through, it's really nice. But I remember touring, and I just felt like I clicked. Like people in my high school like said, you know, like when you visit the college, you'll just know, and I was like, there's no way. Like how do you just know a place feels like home, like Monmouth did. But after my tour, I knew it was like I was meant to be here. I was talking to my mom. We were like pros and cons. I was like I had a whole bunch of pros, and she was like cons. I was like really none. Like honestly, so I just like loved Monmouth, and the science department was great. I've changed my major a lot too, like 4 times if I'm being honest. All science, but it's been a great experience here.
Well, for me, I live here in town in Monmouth, right? So I was just like 5 minutes away from here, and I knew a lot of people from here, and I just like how close everybody was like to the professors, and how like they get to the professors and there's like no barrier. Like they just get to the professors and they just talk to them like they are talking to any other friend that they have or any other student. So I just kind of like that, and also my parents live here, or they work here for the school, so I was like, we're better working here, right?
So I live like 5 hours away. I'm a little different. I think I'm the only one from these people that are like out of state, but I didn't really mind going very far. So, and I just kind of wanted to go to the small liberal arts, and this one stumbled upon my list. And when I visited, I really just liked the campus, and I thought the people were really nice. And I don't know. That's like a simple reason, but that's just kind of why I chose it.
Okay, Monmouth was like the first college that like popped up in like my college search, and I spent like a couple days like kind of like researching it and just like looking into it, and I like very immediately like was like very, very intent on like going here. I just totally fell in love with like the kind of like opportunity for like growth and discovery, and yeah, I mean like not just the science areas, but like pretty much any area. I liked that Monmouth had a lot of like chances for students to really see how far they could go and how much that they could do and just really reach their full potential. And that's what I like always wanted to do, like with my interest in science, is I really wanted to just like go wild and see what can happen. And I just really like the opportunities that Monmouth provided. My parents, you know, like when I told them I was like, I'm gonna go to Monmouth. And that was like one of the first colleges that I researched. My parents were like, don't you want to have a couple options, you know, just in case? And it was very Elle Woods, like from Legally Blonde. I was like, I don't need backups. I'm going to Monmouth. And on top of that, I think that's something that really contributes to the students' like opportunities to grow is exactly how much support the professors give you. Like Monmouth offers kind of like 1 hour, like one-shot classes in like the summer and the fall, where you kind of like sign up through the website. And I took so many of those because I really loved how much I was learning in all those, and I was like, oh my goodness, if this is like how much I can learn in like a one-time deal in like 1 hour, then imagine how much I could learn in like a semester. I think that like professors do a really good job of like encouraging students to have that drive to chase opportunity and like chase their dreams. Like personally, I, you know, like Dr. Hughes, I've always had my back like during hard times. I know that I can always like talk to my professors about anything. They're very reliable and just very supportive. You know, really, really encouraging bunch of professors here. Like I think it was like point yesterday where I like plopped into like Dr. Prinzell's office. I was like, I'm gonna tell you all about my project, and I word vomited all over him. But he listened, and that's what professors do here. They listen, which I think is such a huge influencer in why students succeed. Is not only does Monmouth, the campus, and the institution provide the opportunity, like the chance, but the professors encourage students so well to take that chance and run with it. So that's why I chose Monmouth. That's why I love Monmouth. It's the best.
That was lovely. I actually never really truly intended to go to Monmouth, even throughout the whole application process. I was just kind of, it was honestly one of my backup schools, which was really sad because when I got to campus, it kind of blew me away, like how welcoming it was, and for a school that I wasn't really seriously considering, it just captured my heart. And I kind of knew at that point that this is where I would end up, but coming to campus, and I didn't really know what I wanted to study because I am very, very interested in many, many, many things. And my professors in all of my classes that we get to do research and write papers on have indulged me, and even if a topic isn't exactly what they have assigned, they'll let me do my research in the thing that I'm interested in. And that opportunity, that specifically, the professors encouraging my own interests and the interests of other students, and really building this education to fuel the student and not just push everything. It has been incredibly nurturing, and now I have decided that I'm going to apply for med school and truly pursue that. And that would never have happened if I had not been nurtured the way that I was here. So I have Monmouth to thank.
And your sister's coming, right?
My cousin is
Oh,
coming.
it's your cousin?
Yes.
Oh, because I saw the last name and I was, yeah, because your sister is probably younger. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Your professors will always believe in you even when you don't believe in yourself. I think that your 20s are very much a tumultuous time. It's a lot of growing pains. But like even in like your darkest days and your worst moments, like your professor's always there. Like they'll be there to catch you when you fall.
Apparently we have time for one more question, is what I've been told.
Several of you are doing research that relates to diseases like Parkinson's and ovarian cancer. It would be a wonderful tribute to Dr. Kieft someday, since he passed away from pancreatic cancer, to do some research related to pancreatic cancer. But I just wanted to ask the students who are here studying ovarian cancer and Parkinson's, if they have relatives or someone they knew personally that has had that disease, if that motivated them to want to do research into trying to find solutions.
Just to touch on what you said, you mentioned Doc dying of pancreatic cancer. My research revolves around the lipid membrane of like chronic diseases. So
There's a connection between.
yeah, you can any of them like liver, kidney, pancreas.
Yeah,
so that
some
could
of mine.
potentially be a tie forward.
Yeah, they just started the day after Memorial Day, so they just designed their projects, and Alyssa's could very well span that topic.
So I know for me, like my topic was very close to my heart because my grandmother had ovarian cancer, and we were very close. Like I grew up in a multi-generational house, so it was my grandma, grandpa, my mom, me, and my sister, and my grandma was the strongest person I knew, and she had struggled with ovarian cancer for 5 years, and she sadly passed away just this past semester because it had become platinum resistant. And I know for me, my grandma was my biggest support system. She always told me I could do anything. Like I really was like, wow, I don't know if I can do this. Like there's so many smart people in this program. I don't know if this is for me, but my grandma always told me, she was like, you can do anything, Camilla. I've seen you do this, and this in high school, and she was always there supporting me. And so I knew like I wanted to do research on this. Like I wanted to do something, even though like I know this isn't gonna maybe make that much of an impact, but for me it's very meaningful because in my small way, I'm helping someone, maybe even helping someone else instead of also going through it. So I'm really glad that Kieft Research and Audra took a chance on picking me to do this project, and I'm just really grateful for this opportunity.
She's smart too, she's smart.
Anybody else want to speak to that?
My great grandmother passed away from complications from Parkinson's when I was very, very, very young. So I never really got to like get to know her all that well. And one of my friends, like her grandmother currently right now is battling Parkinson's. For me, it's important to study like these sorts of diseases and conditions because how much we study them is very much a testament to our humanity. And like I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times, you cannot be a good scientist without being a good humanitarian first, and you cannot be a good humanitarian without being a good scientist. They go hand in hand because art is science, science is art. They're two sides of the same coin. And as scientists, as researchers of this stuff, it is important for us to retain our humanity, to retain our desire to help others, and overall like work towards the betterment of the public. I think that is like the very root of science, is like the desire for like growth and change and just improvement and like constantly reaching towards like better and better things. So yeah, that's kind of like why the study of that is important to me.
Well, I guess that's it, right? But thanks everyone for coming.
Okay, thank you all. We have a few more sessions right after this. I don't know if any of you have signed up for our campus tour, but it'll be starting at 3. And so will Conspiracy Theories with Andre Audette, and that's just downstairs here in the big auditorium on the basement level. So let us know if you need any assistance getting anywhere. Thank you.